Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, and I am so excited to be with you, and I am so excited to share the news with you, and I'm especially excited tonight. And for those of you who are newer to my channel, you may not be familiar with my guests, but those of you who are OGs, who have been with this channel a while, are going to be very familiar with my guests. So without any further ado, I want to bring in the great, the George. George, good to see you, man. Look at that. Look at that hair. That is nuts.
Hey, don't bully me about the incompletion. Okay,
I'm getting wings on my hair.
Look, I know I don't have the mustache, and it's not coming in yet. Don't bully me.
Yeah, right. All right. And folks, another guest here, the amazing Brian Lupo. That's right, CanCon Actual. And I'm going to, before we get rolling, guys, I want you, and Marcus D will be joining in a little bit. He's got kids and stuff to deal with. So one of the things that happened, just for those of you who aren't familiar, I used to stream with these guys all the time, and there were some others involved as well. By the way, guys, I actually got a text back from Nick today.
Oh, really?
Oh, I know. I thought, wow, how do I rate? Anyways, Nick will not be joining us, but he's just been busy with other things in life. He doesn't want to get sucked back in right now. He's got too many other things going on.
No, so. I'll suck him back in. Don't worry.
All right, that's good, George.
Wait. No, pause.
That's a little too much information, man.
No.
So, and then, but we went through this whole scenario, and there were others as well, but it was you guys, and then it was Marcus, Nick, and Julie Green, and we would stream together, the six of us, regularly. Now we are at a point where just due to the nature of YouTube bans and strikes and everything, we've all gotten splintered. So George, you have a huge X account. So for those who are just joining, how do they find you on X?
Yeah, Behizzy Tweets.
Behizzy Tweets. It's at Behizzy Tweets. I'll put it in the comments here. We're going to get into some big news. Brian, you covered some news well today. I've got a video of yours in there. So go follow George.
How you going to dead name Twitter, bro? Behizzy Tweets. It should be Behizzy Posts. It's not tweets anymore.
Oh, man. I'm misgendering the platform, aren't I?
You're misgendering X, bro.
Man. No, Elon should change that name back. No one's going to ever call it X. Okay? It's Twitter.
It's X, formerly Twitter. That's how you have to refer to it.
That's actually how everyone says it.
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Everyone's always going to reference the old one.
I still just use tweet. I don't.
I know.
It's just
giving him a hard time.
But Brian, you now have a large show with Badlands Media, and you stream a lot with Ash. Ash has been on the show. You folks know Ash. I've seen her on. But that's kind of the direction you've gone. So most of your content is on Rumble. But now we have a huge announcement today from YouTube, and I'm going to just pull this in. It actually was from Jim Jordan, but I love this because I'm going to the liberal media folks. YouTube to allow creators banned for COVID-19 election misinformation to apply for reinstatement. This is absolutely hilarious. Okay. Going down. Google owned YouTube on Tuesday said it would soon allow previously banned accounts. Both of you guys are banned. Okay. You guys have started up other accounts. Those have been wiped out and so on. I mean, YouTube has not allowed you back on the platform. It will soon allow previously banned accounts to apply for reinstatement, rolling back a policy that had treated violations as permanent. The change applies to channels removed for posting COVID-19 or election-related misinformation.
Yes.
Okay. I just swear it just goes. According to a letter from Alphabet lawyer Daniel Donovan to House Judiciary Committee Jim Jordan, Republican, Ohio, previously those types of offenses carried lifetime bans. Now, you guys know Doug TeNapel. Doug got all 12 of his channels back. This is probably 6 months ago. And an apology letter from YouTube, mind you.
Wow.
12 channels is crazy.
12 channels. That's how many different channels Doug had gone and started up. But see, it's a lifetime ban, so he was getting consistently banned. Today, YouTube's community guidelines allow for a wider range of content regarding COVID and elections integrity, Donovan wrote. Okay.
So
Uh,
can we say that the 2020 election was can we say the thing now?
Stolen.
Whatever. That's
Oh,
apparently.
Can
Yeah,
we say
that's
swollen instead
stolen.
of do we have to stop
just say
calling it
ballets anymore?
yeah,
Shut up.
do we have to say do we have to say
Dominoes?
erectile dysfunction? Do we
Okay. So again, folks, for those of you who don't know, I mean, censorship is serious stuff. Okay, but there is some absolutely, hilarious moments to this. Farmall Fanatic, I gotta give him he's got a great channel, by the way. I've got to watch his videos. He goes and buys old Farmalls and stuff. Reverse that action, YouTube. Boom. But we used to have to use code words because the speech algorithm would pick it up, and it wasn't ballots, it was ballets, and it wasn't Dominion, it was Dominoes, and it was
it was dumb onion.
Dumb onion.
Dominoes,
Oh,
pizza
gosh.
boxes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What a trip down memory lane, man. This is wild.
My gosh.
The Fauci ouchie.
Oh man. Man, we were fighting, man. We were struggling.
Bro, we tried our best, and I think we all would have survived if it hadn't been for that Media Matters hit piece. I still, to this day, I'm convinced that Media Matters hit piece that came out on June 14th, the next day, Bahizzi, Q, and Doug Tenaple get banned, and then all the rest of us, well, except for Neil, he's a fed. No, I'm just kidding. But except for Neil, all the rest of us get banned in a couple days. And Marcus,
well, I think they got you, Brian, because you had previously been suspended.
No.
Well, remember, you had a channel before, and then you created a new one.
Right? That was my original channal.
Look at this.
Yeah.
My Facebook vanished.
Oh, damn, Bongino got banned from this platform. The FBI deputy director.
Hold on. Bongino left. He got suspended, and then he told him to kick rocks, and he left.
Yes. Thank you.
No. What he did was they took a video off of him saying something, and then he reset it, and then they permanently removed him.
Oh, did they?
Himself. Yeah, they actually banned the FBI deputy director, which is bizarre to think about.
After he already told him, though, at that point, George, he had told him to kick rocks. I think that's the
he doesn't. He owns shares in Rumble. He doesn't care.
Yes. Now, so this is interesting. So somebody said, "Can't you sue them?" Now, let's talk briefly about this, because here's the thing. I was talking with Marcus earlier today. We'll get him on here in a little bit, but Marcus is like, "Where's the justice? What's the justice? The justice, the justice." Okay, I'll be perfectly frank. You know what I think justice is? There's two forms of justice I want to see, and I want to get your guys' take on this. If you were in the government and pressuring YouTube, because I've read the stupid emails in the Missouri v. Biden, okay? I've read them. If you're in the government pressuring, that's a crime, criminal prosecution, not civil, and you should be sitting in the hoot scout. For the companies, I believe that it should be financial remuneration to the people. That's my vision of justice. I don't know where you guys are at this. Some people want to see all the CEOs go to jail and all this stuff. Whatever.
I really don't think that's ever going to happen. You're not going to see any of these people hoping for Bill Gates to be suddenly arrested, or Mark Zuckerberg to be arrested for the Zuckerbucks. Yeah, that's not going to happen. In fact, he's friendly with the administration now. So you're not going to see that kind of retribution, even though it's necessary. So, I mean, you're right. The justice would be, well, one, being allowed to speak again on these platforms, everyone that was banned, our ideas being allowed to have the light of day. But then, financial compensation, which is also never going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, I just, I think if we looked at this, guys, you, George, Brian, when we got banned, you had the biggest presence, George. You had the biggest. If you go back to the Media Matters article,
I think Doug Tenaple had.
Nope, Doug was at 61,000 because he was on channel 14 or something. I don't know. It's just
he was on channel 2.
Yeah, because he had already, his first channel had almost 500,000 subscribers, and that got wiped out. And then he was back with 61,000. But you were the biggest, and then but legitimately, all of us, I am fully convinced. Okay, you guys tell me if you think I'm off on this, but I believe George would have over 1 million subs for sure. I honestly think I would. Because what happened to me, and the reason I kept my YouTube account, folks, is I quit producing content.
Yeah.
That was my answer to it all. I'm like, well, I mean, they're just going to wipe it out anyways. So what's the point? I might as well try and keep the channel and see if we can get this turned around legally. And then that was how I did it. And then I wiped out a bunch of my videos, and I just sat in the background, and I put stuff up on Rumble, and I put stuff up on Odyssey. Remember Odyssey, guys?
Oh, wait, that
miserable.
site still has all our archives. That's crazy.
Yep.
This random website we used to
miserable.
make fun of now has everything. Wow, it's really interesting.
Yeah, no, you could actually right now, folks, if you want to see
don't tell him to go see us in our depressed moods talking about the election was rigged. Don't do that. Okay, don't depress these people. Talking about mailing ballades. Oh man, that was the worst time of my life. Like in terms of just not being able to speak freely, that was the worst thing that ever happened.
Yeah, but it was cool because we always got to jump on and hang out with each other and do like an hour worth of content and then an hour worth of just shooting the shit and making fun of each other and everything else.
What would have happened is that we would have all continued producing content. The subscribers would have kept growing. And I think we could have single-handedly moved lawsuits with the kind of audience we all had.
Yes.
Yeah, Neil, you'd definitely be at 1 million because you finally got the hang of YouTube after everyone had gotten kicked off. You understood thumbnails and everything else. Brian was way too much of an encyclopedia to care about thumbnails. But eventually your live audience would have grown beyond everyone else's, Brian, because you have the ability to just speak about certain topics at length and in detail for a very long time, which most people can't do. So it would have been only a matter of time before I think we would have had this. We would be meeting with Trump, to be honest, if you think about it.
We would have had an interview in the 2024 run-up and the campaign.
Yeah, because the campaign, and I mean, during the campaign, I was speaking to the advisors. They hated whenever I'd post about election integrity. I would get calls because they thought that me posting about election integrity was discouraging people from voting or believing in the voting process. So they would constantly get on me and say, man, tell them they should still vote. I'm like, hey, I have to tell the truth. But they're like, but it might discourage people from voting. Well, I think if we had channels that massive all talking about election integrity, we would have had the Trump campaign trying to get Trump on all of our channels just so people know that, okay, the elections are not fair, but we still have to vote. So
we were like, I mean, honestly, guys, we were fringe, and I mean, we were just because other people wouldn't touch it. Mm-hmm. And so we became fringe, and we would have. I mean, honestly, I was adding 40,000 subscribers a month.
Yeah.
So there's no way I wouldn't hit the 1 million subscriber mark. But then it's like I'm constantly trying to refine the algorithm because YouTube's either demonetizing me or they're striking me or whatever. It's just been stupid. Honestly, it's been stupid. I remember I was covering the Kerry Lake election, with Katie Hobbs, and I was covering stupid courtroom stuff. I mean, this was real news, Brian.
Yeah.
Real news. That guy perjuring himself from one day to the next, not Richer, but the other one. I mean, I'm like, this is real, and I'm getting wiped out for it. Pissed me off. I mean, what am I supposed to cover?
What they did was beyond crazy. And I'd been telling you guys, I saw the writing on the wall very early, and I told you guys, move over to locals, move over to Rumble. And I know
that was your thing.
That was my thing. That was my thing. And I know the financial incentive. Look, guys, YouTube is a much more lucrative program, and the ability for them to just be able to take us off like that. I mean, that was our business. That was our job. We woke up, we researched content. We put together content. We put these shows out. I was writing at the same time. I was, writing over at Gateway. I wasn't writing at Gateway yet.
Yeah, you weren't at Gateway yet.
No, I wasn't at Gateway yet, but that's what we were doing. We were doing FOIAs, and we were doing document digs and research into documents and interviews with legislators. I mean, people that were making differences, and they're like, nope, you can't talk about that. And, part of me is like, I'll never forgive YouTube for what they did to us. I will never, ever forgive them. But at the same time, if we're going to move forward and move the needle, you got to be able to reach the most amount of people. And unfortunately, look, Rumble's doing big things, man. We're getting NFL ads over there now. We're getting, we're getting quality ads over there now with the Rumble Studio integration. So, look, if YouTube will have us back, I will more than be happy. I'll be more than happy to jump back on YouTube, but I'm not turning my back on Rumble. They've been steadfast this whole entire time.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I gotta bring up, we got a super chat here from Jonathan Tay, who we all love. He lives over in Australia, folks, but he said, you guys are here. I miss doing this. I'm crying tears of joy. Jonathan is wonderful.
Wait, you miss giving out money? No. Don't ever miss that. Come on, man.
Cheers to good karma from Carrie. These are people who have followed us for a long time. I posted this up before, but Michael's really excited to see you, George. He's got lots of exclamation
Hey, Brian, is that your long lost brother?
The beard is related to me, dude.
Let me I'm going to go back to this, Brian. I want you to talk a little bit about this, but I'm going to pull up your where is it? Right here. I'm going to play this, folks. This is Donald Trump. I've just queued it up to this part. We're going to talk specifically about Section 230. This is Trump's ace in the hole here, and I think it's worth noting.
The Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses. To assist in these efforts, I am urging House Republicans to immediately send preservation letters, and we have to do this right now, to the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, and every Silicon Valley tech giant, ordering them not to destroy evidence of censorship. Third, upon my inauguration as president, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk revising Section 230 to get big online platforms out of censorship business. From now on, digital platforms should only qualify for immunity protection under Section 230 if they meet high standards of neutrality, transparency, fairness, and non-discrimination.
So I don't know who in the audience remembers this, but this was early on. Trump stated these things. He went through a whole list of things. This was one of them. And we got an executive order immediately after that. So the thing I like about Donald Trump, and the reason we were so frustrated with Republicans for so long, is they always said they were going to do stuff and never did jack. Okay. Rainmaker, thanks for that super chat. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. No, it never ends, Rainmaker. But I guess, George, Brian, what do you guys want to say on that? I mean, I think Trump nails it. Look, if you're going to have the protections to say you're a platform, not a publisher, so you can't be sued for defamatory stuff, then God darn it, you got to be able to allow the stuff on.
True.
Yeah, this was one of the most blatant cases of lack of equal protection from our Congress, where our Congress cozied up to corporate entities and said, hey, we're going to give you guys liability waivers, but we're also not going to give anything back to the people. In return, we should have gotten a stipulation in there that you can't censor people based on constitutional speech, and constitutional speech is very wide. I mean, it pretty much falls short of inciting violence or making threats against, people's lives or defamation. In civil cases, there is, defamation, slander, and that kind of thing, but we never got those protections. And what President Trump has done, I don't know how much more of my episode you're going to play here, but what President Trump has done is he has threatened to take away the 230 section 230 protections from these platforms. And if he does that, these platforms go bye-bye. YouTube cannot survive without the liability protections from there because they'll be sued for everything. If I come on here and say just the slightest discriminatory thing or the slightest defamatory thing that, and get sued, anytime they sue me, they'd also be able to hold YouTube accountable as well for for publishing that or allowing it to exist on their platform. And so the censorship apparatus would go through the roof. So this is, in my opinion, this is the only way that President Trump could have effectuated change based on the executive order, because 1414.9 can't actually change law, right? He's the president. He's not Congress. So he can't change law. The only thing he can do is require the federal government itself to get completely out of the censorship and investigate the government's involvement in it, maybe prosecute, potentially. I doubt it, but potentially. But just by threatening taking away the 230 clause, the Section 230 protections, YouTube and these platforms are going to capitulate to him and just give it all up.
Well, as much as, yes, I love that address from Trump, and I love the threat, and I think it was important, we have to give Jim Jordan some credit here, because this is a case, despite what Neil just said, which is Republicans don't do anything. I think this is one of the few instances where I think, yeah, hey, Republican congressmen pushed this from the very beginning. They took the evidence from Missouri v. Biden, and they subpoenaed all these big tech companies, and they kept bothering them, kept bringing them to Congress, kept doing it over and over again. All these weaponization of government committees, those ended up mattering because it got Google to respect the threat that Trump put out there. And suddenly they're saying, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we are admitting that it was the Biden administration that forced us to do this, because that's the easiest way out for them. If they say, yeah, no, we actually did this on our own accord, then Congress has more than enough justification to consider or reconsider Section 230. But the thing with Section 230 is some on our side actually think we don't need it. I think we actually do need it. We just need the added protection for speech in there. Section 230 makes sure that YouTube can host YouTube content. Otherwise, YouTube would be a publisher and they'd get to pick and choose what they put out on the platform. So we do actually need it. We just need the speech protections. But I think we got to give some credit to Jim Jordan here. I mean, that took years to get out of Google, and the Republicans don't normally follow through.
Thank you, George. I one thing I would comment on here is we always joked about Jim Jordan's strongly worded letters. Okay.
Oh yeah. I think they worked this time. Something about them worked.
Yeah, and to your point, Bahizzi, I wasn't saying to abolish Section 230. I've always been one of the people that said do not abolish it, because if you do, but you need to amend it and add the stipulations, like you said, that speech is protected. As long as it's constitutional speech, it's protected. And we didn't have that because, I mean, everything. And reading that letter from King and Spalding to Jim Jordan, what a crock of crap.
I know.
I'm reading this thing and I'm like, you guys are in CYA cover your ass mode to the fullest extent. We've always been a beacon of free speech. Get out of here, dude.
Look at this. Being useful source of information for everyone. Okay, yeah, that one.
Open to free expression.
Yes. There it is. Here it is. Okay, now this is the attorney from YouTube responding to Jim Jordan and writing this letter. The company appreciates the accountability from the House Judiciary Committee. First off, that is BS. Appreciates the accountability. Its critical role in advancing the core American value of freedom of expression. The company has a commitment to freedom of expression. This commitment is unwavering and will not bend to political pressure.
I made a tweet about this a couple months back, and it was about American big tech companies versus the EU. So the European Union, it feels like every year creates a new law,
Oh,
antitrust, free speech, and whatever BS they come up with. And they just fine our big tech companies. It's like a taxation. They fine our big tech companies for violating these made up laws. And I think, in a way, Google's kind of giving an olive branch to the Trump administration. Like, hey, look, we'll concede this point. We'll host all this speech if you fight the EU for us. Because they're losing billions of dollars every single year, it feels like, whenever the EU and one of their courts fines them for violating some antitrust thing. I mean, billions of dollars. We're talking tens of billions from all these American tech companies have been going to the EU in the form of fines in the last, 20 years. So this might be an example of, I give you something, right? I give your conservative fans and creators some grace, and you get to fight the EU for us. And I actually think it's a great strategy from Google's point of view, if that's what they're doing it for. But I think it's a combination of everything.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think I go back to something Brian said earlier, and something that I have long thought too. I built a bit of a Rumble account, not super huge, and I use Rumble when I haven't been able to post on YouTube, and when I had really sensitive information, I'd share it on Rumble. My biggest problem with Rumble is their search and discovery sucks, and there's a number of problems with the Rumble platform, but it is a place where you can post your content. Another person who got a lot of banning was Mr. Mike Lindell. So go support him at mypillow.com/lumberjack, folks, and get your big savings right now. This is so great because these were gone. They were out. They're out all the time. The 6-piece towel sets, they are the best towels. It's one of my favorite 3 products of Mike Lindell are the towels, the Giza sheets, and the travel pillows, because I take them camping with me and elk hunting. But his big 3 deals right now are these, because they're back in stock. There's a limited quantity on those. The premium My Pillows are on sale right now. And the closeout on the percale sheets, only $29.88. Free shipping on orders over $100 or more. You can also, I always encourage people, just call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. And get your Christmas gifts from people who like you. I'm serious. I remember Dan Bongino had Elite Tactical Systems as a sponsor, and I needed mags for my AR-15. I'm listening to Dan Bongino. They had a promo.
Wait. Say that again.
ETS, Elite Tactical.
No, magazine. Say it how you said it.
Mags? What?
No, say it again.
Mags, George.
Dude, Brian, do you see what I'm seeing? Do you hear what I'm
Magazines?
hearing? I'm hearing Megs.
Megs?
This guy's saying Meg.
I needed mags.
Yeah, he's saying that. Come on, Neil. You know better than that. It's
That's
like when
what
you say Oregon. It's Oregon. You keep saying Oregon. That's
it's no,
inappropriate.
George. It's an O. Anyhow.
How do you guys say the state where Las Vegas is?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah.
His is my man.
Wait, Neil, what did you say?
Nevada.
It's Nevada. Nevada.
Minnesota, gentlemen. Minnesota.
Okay, see, we'll say how you say that because that's your state.
All right. Back to the news.
So on the YouTube and the reasoning for it, and here's my theory on this. I mean, obviously, I think Trump is turning the screws with the Section 230 threats. Jim Jordan's turning the screws with the Section 230, amending it. And I think they, essentially they rolled over on it. But there's also something else I think that's coming. And 2 days ago, I think, was the expiration of Trump's executive order on the elections, where they were supposed to have the report on his desk for the election executive order that he put out 6 months to the day. Yeah. And I hear a lot of rumblings, and I can't say much more than that, but a lot of rumblings that there is going to be a massive expose on all of this. And this is all going to come. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm not 100% sure. But I think that YouTube could potentially be getting out in front of this. I
actually had that same thought, Brian.
They have egg on their face if you know, it all comes out that everything we've been saying this whole time is absolutely true.
Wait, about
And-
the 2020 election or the
Yeah.
2024
Yes.
election?
No,
Yeah, no, 2020. You know, they're allowing 2024. My last episode of Why We Vote with Ash, we covered this girl, Jessica Denson or whatever, that's just out there just acting like a complete and total derp. You know, oh, the election was totally stolen. Where's your evidence? Well, I mean, look at the people, man. They all like Kamala better than Trump. And it's like, that was like the day after the election in 2020 that we knew that. Then we got into, you know, the QR code signature mismatch, the mail-in ballots that were just
sworn affidavits.
Yeah, I mean, she has no evidence whatsoever. And I would love to debate her because I'm all for election integrity, whether it's Democrat or Republican, and I fully support her calls for thorough audits into the 2024 election. 100%. Let's freaking go. But she won't debate.
Yeah.
She won't even acknowledge me, but it is what it is.
I support it too.
Yeah.
The 2024 election was rigged. Let's say that. Let's agree with them, but let's audit it. Let's look at the machines. Do they have software with vulnerabilities? And if they do, we should disqualify the machines. Let's look at mail-in ballots. Are there instances of people receiving more than one mail-in ballot? If so, that means a mail-in ballot is fraudulent. Let's go to a paper ballot system one day. So that's the problem with them, right? They don't like what comes with actually investigating election fraud. They don't like the solutions that we would propose because they would just lead to them never winning.
I actually think, you know, based on the polling from Rasmussen, I actually think that more normal people than are in favor of banning the machines and going to a paper ballot hand count than are on the other side. However, those voices don't ever get, you know, highlighted, right? Well, all we ever hear are the election NGOs and the Mark Eliases of the world and the, you know, the Verity Voting and all these other companies that are out there, NGOs out there saying, we need to make sure that everybody can cast a mail-in ballot and nobody can have their vote not counted. It's like, shut up. You know, voting is not supposed to be the easiest damn thing in the world, because the easier it gets, the more likely there is to be fraud. If you care that much about voting, you can get off your lazy ass, drive down on the first Tuesday in November after the first Monday, and cast a ballot.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. My gosh. I mean, how ridiculous. I mean, wait, but Mark Elias told us that Republicans were making it harder to vote and easier to cheat.
Yeah. It should be harder to vote. It should be harder to vote. You don't have a constitutional right to vote.
Exactly. I don't think we should be getting dumb people to vote. I think if someone doesn't know how to get an ID, they should not be voting. Because if you don't know how to get a picture of yourself, put on a piece on a card, then please, by all means, stay at home and get disenfranchised.
So, do you know what's interesting? We talked a lot, guys, about Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, New Hampshire, some of these states. But I ran a survey on my show and I said, which state do you think was the most corrupt? And do you know what the answer was?
New York, California.
Georgia.
California. And you know, it's interesting because we don't think about that as much. But you remember after the election, all those seats in Congress, all the undecided seats, where were they?
California.
Yeah, California.
You know, it was funny. You know what districts they were? The 45th and 47th districts.
Oh, that's hilarious.
45 and 47. They've got a sense of humor with their election fraud. Yeah, there were Republican seats that switched Democrat in the 3 weeks of counting after the election.
Yeah. And they'd been red for weeks. And then the last dumps came in. Yeah, it's very obvious when they do it. I guess when we cheat, it's like instant, right? You know, we just don't leave a trail of our fraud. But them, I mean, middle of the night dumps. I mean, they did that curve again. The curve happened again.
Oh, yes. I'm looking for something, guys, that was really funny. It's from Bad Hombre on X. Did you guys see this? Okay. So let me get this straight. Kamala says she didn't choose Buttigieg as her running mate because she thought an Indian cosplaying as a black woman and a chest feeding. Dude, it'd be too much for the American electorate to digest.
Oh,
So instead, she went for the biggest FAG ever come out of Minnesota.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, we'll leave that at that.
I'm just going. That's poetry, gentlemen.
That is epic.
By the way, I think it's a complete scam that Tim Walz wasn't forced by some law to resign his seat as governor as he pursued the vice presidency. Isn't there a law somewhere in your books, Neil, that says you can't really do one job while you're focused on trying to get the other?
Well, how could Katie Hobbs run her own election for governor? I mean, this is the most crooked crap of all time. Okay, and we're supposed to just stand out here. Oh, yeah, both free and fair, gentlemen.
Yeah, especially if he is responsible for certifying the results out of his state. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how like all the same characters from the 2020 election are just getting promoted and moving to bigger jobs now? You know, Katie Hobbs becomes governor after Secretary of State. Adrian Fontes, Maricopa County recorder, becomes the Secretary of State. Yeah. In Georgia, Raffensperger's running for governor now.
Hey, by the way, I have a fear.
Secretary of State.
I actually have a fear that the Republican establishment in Georgia will push Raffensperger, and the people won't really remember what he did, and he's going to win.
I don't know. The Republican base in Georgia is they cannot stand Raffensperger. Now it's interesting because I just
say that, but man, they vote for a lot of people we don't like.
At their convention, they voted to forbid him from running as a Republican, and it passed. It passed with a big vote. But the chair said there's no lawful way that we can actually enforce that. If he wants to run as a Republican, we have to let him run as a Republican.
Well, the Republican Party is a private entity. I mean,
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you.
One, guys, I was talking to David Cross today and Josh McCoon down there, right? So they had basically a rigged thing, and Josh McCoon now wants to be Attorney General.
Oh, so that's why, because Chris Carr is going to run for the Senate seat, I think.
Oh my gosh! Are we just going to get the word?
It's just a revolving door. You know, you just work your way up through the system with more and more fraud. You just keep pushing yourself up.
The problem is, and this is just not going to go well with some people, but if Chris Carr looks like he's going to win the primary for the Senate seat, Trump's going to endorse him. Like, if it looks like he's going to win, Trump's going to step in and endorse him.
George is right, Brian.
Look at Arizona, man. He endorsed Karen Taylor Robson, this literal globalist who's running against Andy Biggs, one of the best congressmen we have. And Trump's like, they both have my complete and total endorsement. And now Biggs went from leading the primary by a wide margin and also leading the general election polls to losing the primary according to the polls. Trump needs to stop endorsing people because he does come in and maybe at a critical moment, he endorses someone that his people know, that he might know, that their money might know, and everything gets screwed up.
I mean, of all people, he would know better than anybody that the whole system is rigged. Yes. And it doesn't matter who he endorses, so at least look good and endorse the candidate that you know is going to win.
No, but the problem is there have been opportunities where someone legitimately good could have won.
I need to interrupt you for a sec because there's a big question here from Agent Orange. George, where were you for elk hunting this year? Working on your Jimi Hendrix costume?
Wait. Jimi Hendrix? Who's Jimi Hendrix?
I think he looks like Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Oh, they're just black people. Okay. I was like, who are these random people?
No, they got the hair. Oh, it's weird.
Oh, yeah. I got to get a haircut. I haven't been to the barber in like 3 months. So
I got to get a haircut, but I'm going right back out to the woods, so I don't think it matters too much.
Yeah. So mountain lion is going to cut your hair for you.
So Ed Martin is going to be investigating Georgia, specifically Kevin Moncla and Joe Rossi's complaint that they put in the 2023-025. Yeah, I wrote about this earlier. It was earlier this month because I was in Minnesota. It was when I was up in Minnesota with when my boss up there, and yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Met Neil, right?
What's that? No, Neil's on the complete opposite side of the state, like 8 hours away.
Oh,
But yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene sent a formal request for a DOJ investigation into specifically State Election Board 2023-025 complaint. And that is a big complaint. That's the complaint about the 17,000 ballots, the 10 machines that don't exist. Good.
Dave Rossi. I mean, this is like that's the bombshell down in Georgia. And we've gotten stifled on that so much. It's
the judge is still postponing, by the way, still stalling.
Well, that's in addition. That's Garland's case, and that's in addition to all that. I mean, he's over 1,000 days that the Supreme Court remanded it back down to the lower courts for to hear it, and they still haven't heard it. I mean, that is unbelievably absurd.
I think whatever crime was committed, that statute of limitations is about to come up.
I mean, well, there's a litigation hold on all of it now. The court has an injunction on all this stuff right now, so it's not. I
really don't believe they still have those ballots.
I don't either, and I think that's why they're pushing this until people forget about it. Until
he just like gives up. Like, I'm spending money on lawyers and motions and all this stuff.
So. This question, Monique, he didn't turn on Trump. I don't believe, George, you can answer this question, but the reality is, I haven't been impressed with Trump's endorsements all the time either. And I think
his endorsements are terrible.
Yeah.
Well, if she's referring to a legitimate disagreement I have with Trump, it was on the war in Iran, which I still disagree with him on. But that would be like his endorsements, I've always said, were incredibly foul and
not all of them. Not all of them.
Well, not all, right? He endorsed really good people. I thought Abe Hamadeh, him endorsing him over Blake Masters was good.
Yes.
But like, it's like worse endorsements than good ones, if that makes sense. But if there's like a legitimate angle, which I disagree with Trump on, it's the fact that we bombed a foreign country. Not Venezuela, because I actually think that's of American interest that we bomb them, like, because they're sending a lot of people here. So I think if the CIA were to commit a coup in a country, I'd pick Venezuela, because if we have a regime favorable there, they take all their people back.
So first, the bombing in Iran, I think what he did there was masterful. He bombed the facilities. He got in, got out. Allegedly, he bombed them. And then what did he make? What did he do after he bombed them? He didn't announce it. You know who he made announce that they bombed it and destroyed all the facilities and there's no nuclear capabilities anymore? He made Israel decide that. He made Israel announce that, so that now Israel cannot sit there and hide behind Iran getting nuclear capabilities to continue to promulgate the wars throughout the Middle East, because that's what they do it in. These are Iran-sponsored terrorists, and Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And Trump's like, okay, we'll take out the nukes. Netanyahu, you tell the world that we destroyed the nuclear facilities, and he did. And
but Brian,
I'm glad it didn't go beyond that. And I was with you. I didn't like it at all. I don't like that idea at all.
But I mean, just the outcome of it is not what I was taught. I was concerned by how it happened. It was because we were in diplomacy mode.
Hey, George.
The United States was very close to making it.
Real quick question. Lou Valentino wants an invite. I don't have his email. Do you want to send him one?
Oh, sure. I'll send Lou. You want me to send it to him?
Send it to him. Yeah. We'll bring him on.
All right. Now, let me finish that sentence.
Yes.
Okay, Lou, let me finish the sentence, and then we get back to this, because this is a matter of passion. So the reason I disagreed with the bombing is because it was not in the United States' best interest, because here we are getting ourselves in another entanglement, and we were in diplomacy mode. We were actually, according to Steve Witkoff, breaking through on negotiating. Like a week before, Trump said Iran and the U.S. were on the precipice of agreeing on something critical. And then I think that's when Netanyahu was like, if the U.S. and Iran have a deal, then that's going to obstruct our ability to commit regime change, because this isn't about nuclear capability. Everyone knows Iran has like a later stage nuclear program where they want to get close to enrichment to 90%, but stay below it as a deterrent of some sort. But we bombed them because Israel was already in the war, and we bombed them for that exact reason. Because Israel was in it.
George, you and I are going to totally disagree on this. I have absolutely zero problem with Trump sending some B-2s over and taking out Iran nuclear capabilities. I do not. I don't want Iran to be at 60%, 90%, any percent personally. I don't trust Iran further than I could throw them. I think they are just a pathetic.
Well, it's not a matter of trust, but it's a matter of, do we have sovereignty over our own foreign policy? If the U.S. is wanting to negotiate and then a week later we're bombing, the thing that causes that is a problem for our sovereignty. And it's very obvious that
Trump made his decision. He's sovereign in that decision-making capability. No problem there. Lou.
But Neil, it's been documented that you had Mark Levin and these very pro-Israel forces that convinced him that he didn't want to do the bombing because the guy's about making the deal, the art of the deal. But it was kind of forced on him.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on? You're hot. You're loud, Lou. You're coming through.
Am I too loud? Am I too loud? I probably got the wrong microphone locked in.
Black people.
I think when you moved it didn't change volume at all.
Okay, I got the wrong mic on. Hopefully it calms down. Can you guys hear me good? Is it too loud still?
Still too loud.
It's kind of echoey too.
Yeah.
You should probably get what me and Brian have, which is
SM7B.
Yeah, come on, baby. See, I used to make fun of you for having a dildo in front of your face, but now I have.
What about now? You guys can hear me good?
No, it's worse now.
Whoa.
He's gonna work on it.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was a little better.
So
Brian, go ahead.
To both of y'all's point, I agree with both of you. I'm with Bahizzi in that I don't think we should have done it, and I'm with Neil if it meant ending the war. I think that we needed to do it because Israel was going to keep that war going as long as possible because their end goal is the nuclear, abolishing their nuclear program, but they didn't have the capability to do that.
They didn't have that's their end goal, not regime change.
Oh no, Israel's goal is absolutely regime change, but they do it under the guise of decimating their nuclear capabilities. And that's why President Trump made them announce that, yes, we annihilated their nuclear capabilities so that there's no longer any reason for Israel to be over there doing that. You got to keep in mind, their 60 and 90% enrichment was not against their nuclear proliferation agreement. That was not a violation of it. There was no limit to how much they were allowed to enrich. They just couldn't produce a nuclear weapon. And you also have to remember that Israel is not part of any nuclear proliferation agreements. They have refused to join any of them. Every other nuclear nation is in a proliferation agreement except for Israel. They just do whatever they want to do.
If they disclose their nuclear weapon, everyone would find out about the Samson option.
We all know they got nukes, man. Can you guys hear me good now?
You're still loud, but we'll roll with it.
No, man, no.
Can't you just turn your
volume? You're not on that mic because when you move it away, you still sound the same distance and everything.
Boy, I hear him like fine. Maybe it's because I'm
not gonna lie. I hear myself fine in the video though. You guys can hear me good. Everybody can hear me good.
You're better now.
Everybody says I think it's you, Neil. I think Neil has a problem. Yeah, you guys can hear me good. Chat, what's up, chat? How you guys doing? Neil, what's going on, man? It's the first time we actually have one of these, man.
Yeah, here you are. You're on the show.
Finally.
You're gonna become a lumberjack before long.
Forever. I would be a lumberjack forever. What's up, Brian? First time we meet. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
George, you need a haircut, bro. You are ugly, bro. You are freaking ugly. It's disturbing how bad you look right now, man. It's so bad.
Hey, man, look, I got to focus. I got to lock in.
So I need a haircut. Look at man, I got wings coming out of my hat. But I'm going back out to the woods, Lou. I go hunt elk this time of year, so I'll be back out in the mountains for 10 days again.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know what George is hunting, but yeah.
Well, he was supposed to be hunting elk with me, but he wimped out, Lou. Let's just be honest.
You know, Neil, you're like P. Diddy with this elk thing. You know, you just keep trying to get me out to your after elk party. And I keep saying no because I'm a sissy, but you keep insisting upon it. So look, if we get back on YouTube, me and Brian, right, Brian? Me and you?
Yeah, we're getting back.
We will go band reunion elk hunting. Wherever you want to go. But we have to be back on YouTube where we can vlog it and stream together at some nice fancy resort. I don't want to do it in the woods.
No, there ain't no fancy resorts elk hunting, George. That's not how this deal works. Quit being a pansy, man. You
gotta have a steakhouse, man. I gotta get a fillet while trying to get elk. It has to be.
You pitch a tarp, you throw your mat down, you sleep.
This sounds too manly, man. I'm a little. Look, I'm a sissy.
He is a princess, dude. When we went to Antrim County, this dude had to stay in like the nicest hotel. He had to be put up in the nicest hotel.
Neil, I didn't do that for me. They did that for me. Yeah, they.
George is he's a character when it comes to stuff like that, where he stays, how he dresses, how he smells. This dude is different. He's a different guy. Well. You guys are both.
Why can't you back me up for once, man?
No, I can't. I can't do it. Yo, you guys. So you guys are both banned. Me and Neil have been demonetized. We have never been banned. Maybe Neil, have you been banned before?
I've been at 2 strikes 3 times.
Okay.
And then I've been demonetized multiple times.
Yeah, same. I had to create a whole freaking new channel. But you guys have the opportunity of a lifetime. Hopefully, you guys get that email soon. George is a pansy. Damn. Yo, black people don't even like you, man. Like nobody likes you.
do we know how this is going to work? Because I saw the updates from YouTube, and they were saying that like it's a pilot program, and it's only going to be a few people, and like all this other shit. Do we know how this is going to work?
I bet it's like a link where you click on it, and you fill out information, and if you qualify, I don't know.
Yeah, but Doug in Exile was banned, and then he's just got an email, hey, your YouTube channel is back up, and he's been monetized ever since. So I would think it would be something like that. Maybe not.
This is what mine says.
The bribe is he go hunting fun.
This is Neil. If you want to pull up my screen, this is what my page says right here. It's still got my icon up there and everything, so it looks legit. It's still got like my logo up there.
Have you, Brian, did you apply today?
No.
Okay, so here's the scoop, guys. I'm gonna share something with you. So this is your channel won't be back on YouTube. This is from a while ago. We've taken a careful look at your channel again and confirmed it violates our community guidelines policy. We recognize it's disappointing news, but our goal is to keep the YouTube community safe. I can't with that.
I'm hearing about mailing ballets.
Here's the thing. Guys, just so you know, you two, so Quentin did this today. I talked to Quentin earlier. I was going to have him on the show, but he couldn't get on. But Quentin, what he did, because what Doug has said that you should do is you tag community at YouTube, or is it the community at YouTube on X?
Yeah, Team YouTube.
Team YouTube, whatever. And so you go over there and then you tag them. Now, typically when Quentin has done this in the past, he immediately gets an email back. No, you're still banned. Today he sent it. He has not received anything back yet.
I don't think that's what maybe a reply back immediately saying, because some of it is robotic, but I think you're saying that it's different now, and maybe that's the case.
Yeah, YouTube.
They said they'll have an update out very soon, which is probably a way to realize the unban. But as of now, me and Brian are in the gulag. We are. But
YouTube has they have changed though. They have changed. Like all my videos used to get yellow marked. I don't know. It just seems so different now for some reason. YouTube they seem like they changed. Again, like
wait. So all your videos are monetized now?
Yeah, they've been monetized.
Yeah, okay, I can tell because you're eating good, you fat.
Well, I can tell you haven't made any money. Look at your hair, look at your face, look at your beard. You look like you're struggling over there. Hey guys, let's donate right now. George is going through a lot.
Oh man.
You want me to pull this up, Brian? I saw you bring up another thing.
Yeah, this is what YouTube put out. We've had a lot of questions about a pathway back to YouTube for some terminated creators to set up a new channel. This will be a limited pilot project that will be available to a subset of creators in addition to those channels terminated for policies that have been deprecated. More to come soon. So it sounds like, I mean, I don't even know how to tell if my channel still even exists in an archive somewhere or something.
Well, it does. Okay, so this is what you need to understand. It does, and I'll tell you why it does. So when Doug got all 12 of his channels back, so I was keeping in touch with Doug, and he called. He was freaking out because he literally got an apology letter from YouTube.
That's nuts.
A reinstatement
Wow.
of 12 of his channels. Now, those channels, he couldn't access them anymore. He even got his original with just under 500,000 subs that they wiped out way back when. Okay. And he had no access to that channel anymore, Brian. They store all that data. You know, Brian, they won't give up data. They're sitting out in some server in the middle of the desert with all this data on us that they love to keep track of us. They've still got all your old channel stuff. They got all your old subs. He got all his old subs back on every single channel.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the channel he's operating on now, which is the original Doug in Exile.
John 1010 says it says for you to make a new channel, but no, that's not exactly what it said.
I don't actually even mind. I'll just take Lou's channel he doesn't use. I'll take your old channel, Lou. Don't worry.
It's two things.
I'll revive it.
You want it? I mean, I got demonetized recently for it.
Wait.
Blow that up a little bit. Expand it. Fill the screen out with just the updates from YouTube. Okay, so we've had a lot of questions about a pathway back to YouTube for some terminated creators to set up a new channel. This will be a limited pilot project that will be available to a subset of creators.
Neil's doing this like Q-Post, Brian.
In addition to those channels terminated for policies that have been deprecated. Meaning that if you were terminated for a policy that's now been deprecated, you should be able to get your channel back, not apply for a new channel.
I don't mind a new channel. I think I'm a new man, you know, like I think
just as long as you get to stay on the platform.
Yeah, it's Neil, it's about YouTube as a platform rather than channels or usernames. Because I think if you put me and Brian on YouTube, you know, first of all, I'd have the hair on top, right? Even though Lou was saying I need a haircut, but we would still cook. We would find a way to get back into the graces of the algorithm, and we would do live streams, and we would grift as we do.
You would what? You would what? Say that one more time.
We would grift as we do.
Well, speaking of this, I feel that there is a huge, like, I don't know, like it's like a huge shift happening. And I think as long as Tucker stays in the TPUSA lineup, I think that's just going to be a big elephant in the room. And you guys get where I'm going with this because you guys were kind of talking about it, but maybe we could close out with that. I don't know, because I know you guys been on here already for 57 minutes. But do you guys, over or under, does Tucker Carlson stay in that lineup for this tour? Yes or no? Over, under?
I say no. He's getting up there in years, and you know he's got a good thing going with his podcast. I don't think so.
I just want. By the way, I think it was like
because there are extreme. The reason why I bring this up, there are extreme calls. Like my whole X algorithm is Tucker must go because of what he said during Charlie Kirk's memorial around, you know, the lines of, you know, the story of 2,000 years ago.
Okay,
so
it was really wild to me, Lou, because, you know, I listened to what Tucker said, and I'm like, wait, so and I saw these posts on X the next day, and he was murdered by the Romans and yada yada. The Romans, don't you remember? I washed my hands of this man. They didn't want to kill him. It was the Pharisees who demanded that he be killed. Okay, so
stop.
I don't anti-Semitic.
I don't know why.
You're gonna get banned for saying
this is ridiculous.
YouTube. I'm not involved in this conversation. Y'all can bring me back alone.
Okay, I don't care. I am not. I have no problem with Jewish people. I have no problem. The Pharisees at the time wanted Jesus killed. That's it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with saying that.
I feel like Jesus Christ, Lord, forgive me if this is blasphemy, died of malnourishment because Lou ate all the food. If there's anyone I blame for our Lord,
and you can look. You can try to mess around with this all you want, and I know you're trying to avoid this topic, you prick. But I think that there is something crazy happening that I think a lot of people are ignoring. I think that the fact that my algorithm on X is the fact that people are calling Tucker to be taken off because of the story that he told, which is a biblical truth, is the biggest truth, and they are saying that that's anti-Semitic. I think we have a problem. I think we have a huge
you know
problem.
what?
It can't be anti-Semitic if it's factual. And
Yes,
you know what?
But the problem is that Christians are the ones that are saying this. Yeah, you have some voices that are maybe Jewish or maybe from Israel. Cool. They're probably going to be mad at it. Christianity is not their religion. But the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of Christian people who are saying Tucker is being anti-Semitic for telling that story. I think that's where we're at. I think that's what Charlie Kirk left off. If you heard Andrew, his best friend, speak today, he was saying the same thing. I think that one of the biggest things that I figured out about Charlie Kirk's assassination is what came out afterward from Marjorie Taylor Greene, from the Candaces of the world, from the Tuckers of the world. It's like this dude was he wanted open dialogue about that conversation.
Yep.
And Tucker, that's the reason why I asked, is Tucker going to be left on that lineup? Because there are calls for leadership to take him out of the Turning Point USA's tour that they're eventually going to have, that Michael Noah's continued yesterday.
Look,
so yeah,
this is what Charlie Kirk sent me before dying, right? How annoying is it? This guy died before he and I got to be best friends. But
so Lou,
now. So
let me ask you this: the accounts you're seeing pushing back on this are the accounts that you personally recognize?
I do. There's actually a lot of them that I recognize, which is which is why I'm so thrown off. I mean, a lot of them, they have, I don't even want to name any of them, but I don't know. I've just been seeing this trend. This has been a trend. It's been a trend now for some time. And I think Charlie Kirk was on the side of no censorship as far as whatever it is that you want to say about the state of Israel, or whether you agree with them or not. I just think that now it's just at another level. And I think that I'm keeping a close eye on what's going to happen with Tucker. I really am, because I think that that is going to dictate what the future is going to be on the conservative right, Christian right, because there is a huge divide now. I feel from people who, again, like Ted Cruz and a Tucker are two different people, but you would say that they agree on many topics. Mm-hmm. When it comes to just that one topic, it just becomes a free for all. It really does. Like, people just, I don't know how to explain what I feel when I see these accounts kind of just call for censorship. When I see Bill Ackman call for Candace to be taken off platforms and lose all her money, when I start to see that stuff, I'm like, I think we're talking about the biggest voices of the conservative movements. Like, we're talking about big, we're not talking about George, little voices. We're talking about the biggest voices. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, I am, skinny and thin and beautiful looking, and you're fat. You are a big voice.
That hair added about 8 inches.
It's interesting. Brian, I'm gonna let you talk, but I find all of this to be, it's to me, it's all parlor drama, and I'm so uninterested in it, to be honest. I think about all these big ideas that have to be moved forward in this country right now. The deportations that still are not occurring at the rate I want to see them occurring at.
Yeah, that's a big issue. I'm with Neil.
Our country,
yeah,
man.
but I have a rebuttal for that, Neil, real quick, and I'll shut up. A rebuttal for that would be that the administration has been paying attention to who has said stuff about that nation. If you look at a lot of these actions that Marco Rubio, if you look at a lot of these actions that this administration has taken, has been on behalf of shutting people up for what they say about Israel. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not even a staunch guy about Israel. Like, I don't support or not support. I don't care. But it's like every single thing, every single post, every single issue has been for them and by them. So it's like, I don't know. I'll shut up now. But it's just, when I just notice these things and like, yeah, I agree. There are more fish to fry, but it's like, bro, like we are just going very far with this. And I think if it's not addressed, which is why Charlie had people come on the shows consistently now and had Dave Smith on there, had these libertarians, people who were not,
we don't want Charlie Kirk to be remembered as whatever his political opinions were about the state of Israel before he died. I'd like him to be remembered.
No, that's not. But that's not what I'm saying. See, don't put words in my mouth.
No, I get what you're saying, but
these conversations he was willing to have. I think that the people now taking over Turning Point USA or bigger representations of that are not willing to have that conversation. I think that that's, in my opinion,
I think that with all due respect, I think Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are to a degree making it a little bit about themselves in a way. Even though I respect Candace and I understand from what perspective she's saying the things she's saying, but she is kind of making it about herself. Like she's grieving, but in a really weird way where she feels like if she finds receipts on whatever, it'll make this thing go away. Charlie Kirk died.
I would love that if I died, I would love for you to do that same thing on YouTube every day. See, that's where I think
absolutely,
like I would love, like if I was to be shot, I would love for my best friends to be freaking searching like they never searched before for the truth.
Look, Charlie Kirk told us how he wanted to be remembered for his faith, right? For his faith in Jesus Christ.
Neil, let's get off this subject, man. I'm getting bored. I agree, Michael. I'm bored with it. I'm moving on.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk wanted to be remembered for his faith in Jesus Christ. And I think it would be a disservice to constantly bring up other topics or his opinions about this, that, and the other. If we remember the man as a man that was a missionary for the gospel, an evangelical, or an evangelist for the gospel, that's perfect. I don't think we need to be having any other conversations in relation to him in any other way except to talk about his faith, his love for his family and God, and for his country. And I think that's it.
I was just asking about the future of his organization. That's all I was asking.
George, I gotta. You didn't see this because your head was down, but Fran Breedlove says, "Hi, George. Good to see you. XOXO." So
good to see you too, Fran.
I think actually, let's since we've been talking about the censorship and everything, but I think the Charlie Kirk Memorial was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. I watched almost the whole thing. And I think what I'm seeing come out of it and the discussions and the people who are picking up their Bibles and the discussions of faith that we are having in this country right now, it's one of the most beautiful and greatest things
profound
I've ever seen.
You know, it's really interesting. I have people that I know personally who, and myself, that were impacted by his message, by him as an individual. I told them that I expected him to be the next U.S. president, Charlie Kirk, I mean, behind the scenes, one of the kindest people you'll meet. His wife is even more kind. You'd think she's just like stuck up because she's the wife of this powerful political leader in the country, but she was so down to earth. You could tell, like, it's very, we were in DC, right? You and I were in DC. We could see the characters and how they behaved. Yes. You knew who wanted some motion and some clout off of you, who wanted to get some reviews by getting on your show, by how they presented themselves. You can tell people's intentions by how they act. And Charlie Kirk, it just seemed like all he wanted to do was have conversations with people. I met him in Cenk Ungar, polar opposite sides of the spectrum on just about every issue. But Charlie said, I just invited him on because I wanted to talk to him. So I think that if we remember him for his faith in Jesus Christ, I mean, that's all that he wanted to be remembered by, right? And I respect him I respect him so much more now than I did when he was alive, because I now realize the magnanimity or the magnanimous or whatever impact he had.
Magnanimous.
Yeah. He had a huge impact. People I know personally mourned him that didn't ever meet him. I thought I was the only one mourning in my circle. But friends that I've known who had nothing to do with him were mourning him because they would hear him talk about family, talk about faith, and all these critical subjects. So I'm not discounting what Lou and Brian are saying and the conversation they want to have. I'm just saying that out of respect for Charlie, let's just only remember him for his faith in Jesus Christ, because that's how
I
he said
agree.
it.
I agree. I think that one of the biggest people that have been impacted, I covered this on my channel, was Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is gonna turn Christian, man. I just have that feeling. He's so close. Like he is posting what Jesus said to Matthew. Like he is posting things about the Bible. He was actually emotional. Speaking of Charlie Kirk, I never seen him like that before. So yeah, I think if we could get the richest man in the world, the most successful private citizen to ever live, if we could get that guy to like see Jesus, I think that's a huge W, man.
Oh, and his wife on stage. I know some people were saying like, oh, it was like this show, and instead of like a funeral. No, Christian funerals aren't like worldly funerals. We celebrate at our funerals because we know where we're going. But people were going at his wife, Erica Kirk, for forgiving the killer. And some guy named Alex on Twitter said, Alex Rosen, he said, oh, this is like the kind of thing where blondes go off into the woods to find themselves. You know, Christians need to be more intense. And I was like, that's disgusting. It is a Christian virtue to forgive your enemy who hurt you. We're the only people on earth that believe we have to stop violence when it happens to us rather than keep going. Our holy book says vengeance is the Lord's, right? We don't pursue vengeance. And yeah, it sucks sometimes because you just want to get back at the people that got you, but vengeance is the Lord. We can't trust our own way. We have to trust his way. We have to defer to his judgment. So I thought one of the most profound moments in American history is a widow, a newly made widow, looking at the world on stage saying, I forgive the little boy who did this to my husband. And can you imagine if Tyler Robinson, or whatever that dork's name is, what would happen to his entire demeanor if he heard her speak and say that? He thought he inflicted the maximum damage, and yet she's releasing forgiveness.
And not only that, on top of that, as you see now, applications for Turning Point chapters have surpassed 70,000, is my understanding, when we currently have 2,100 chapters on high schools and colleges. I want to show this. You're talking about Elon Musk. His feed has been a constant stream of this lately. But here's forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And then he reposted Mario Nawfal's about the teachings of Jesus. And we're just going to listen to this real quick.
I do believe that the teachings of Jesus are good and wise, and that there's tremendous wisdom in turn the other cheek. And for a while there, when I was saying, I thought, well, that's really a weak thing. And with respect to bullies at school, I think you shouldn't turn the other cheek. You should punch them on the nose, and then thereafter make peace with them. But they need to stop bullying you, and a punch in the nose will stop that. And then thereafter, make peace. This notion of forgiveness is important. I think it's essential because if you don't forgive, then but an eye for an eye makes everyone blind.
Makes everyone blind.
Yeah,
so well said. And you're right, Lou. I think you look at. I saw the other day. I don't know if you guys, Brian, did you watch the service, the whole thing?
Some of it. Well,
at the beginning, Chris Tomlin was doing worship, and actually, it's my favorite worship song is "Holy Forever" by Chris Tomlin. I sing it all the time. I love it. It's almost like practice for heaven because that's the attribute of God. It's holy, and that's what we're going to be singing. All the saints will be singing, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty," and so "Holy Forever." And I just saw today that Trump apparently had never heard that song before, and he was so impressed with that song he wants to start playing it at his rallies now. We are really honestly witnessing a real spiritual revival in this country that the likes of which I've never seen. I remember there was the See You at the Pole events. There was a big prayer movement on high schools, but this is bigger.
Yeah, Neil, the reason this revival is so necessary, and I pray that is the true fruit of this critical moment, is that this country doesn't have a moral center anymore, right? 100 years ago, everyone related to each other because of the basic morality we all held, right? Even if someone was a Democrat, black or white or anything, there was a moral agreement on the basics, right? A man is a man, a woman is a woman, murder is murder. Everyone understood good versus evil and accepted basic truths. So that morality related us. But now we live in a society where there are some people that celebrate when a man gets shot in front of his child, right? That was the most depressing part about all of that. It was seeing people on the left celebrate evil, pure evil. We witnessed evil incarnate. We witnessed a man who did nothing wrong get his life cut off by someone weaker, someone more demonic, more possessed by devils. We witnessed that in real time. And instead of everyone coming together and saying that's wrong, you had people whose moral fabric was completely shifted and destroyed by the devil throughout years of indoctrination celebrate. And I think that's the main reason we need a Christian revival. We need prayer in schools again. And I don't know which set of Supreme Court judges decided to abolish that and say it was unconstitutional. If every school just gave each student 5 minutes to pray to their God and said, hey, whatever God you believe in, pray to him, right? You don't have to enforce a religion on them, but allow 5 minutes every school day for students to exercise prayer. I think this country will end up being a little bit more morally consistent. And I think if we don't change, if we don't start having a little bit more Jesus around our institutions and around everywhere, this is only going to get worse. And I blame the church because the church decided to abstain from its duties to participate in government. We just kind of let the atheist and the worldist do whatever they wanted to the institutions. So
we brought it. Yeah, they're the ones that are in the mainstream media. They're the ones who are in control of mostly every narrative that you can think about. They're in the institutions. They're also now in politics at a major level. So yeah, I think you're correct on that. I think that there has to be some sort of revival, but also an acknowledgement that hey, the church has gone away. They have stopped participating in politics. They have looked at politics as some type of, and I've heard churches say this, don't mix politics, but look at us now.
Christian nationalism. Christian nationalism. It's the greatest threat to the world. I mean, they're buying some liberal lie. I got to mention this. Cynthia from Minnesota. I know Cynthia, I've met her. She says, I worry the concept of disagreeing with Israel being anti-Semitic is a ploy to divide the mega movement. It's a great point because, like, why can't we disagree with people? I mean, that
was one of the last things Charlie said on interviews with Shapiro 2 days before he went on the tour.
Athena, go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
Well, he set that question up and gave Shapiro a whole commercial break to think about it. People don't see that, but he asked him, one thing I've seen is that if I'm critical of Israel and ask questions about Israel, I get immediate blowback. I want to talk to you about this. You could see Shapiro's face, just complete and utter shock that he would ever utter such anti-Semitic rhetoric. And then he gave him a full commercial break to answer, but he's gone down the path of questioning October 7th. That still makes zero sense to me whatsoever. General Flynn the day after called that out as well. I called it out as well. There's absolutely no way that event should have been able to happen and take place for 7 hours without intervention. Charlie Kirk called that out recently. And look, I mean, I know the revival aspect of this is great. Sunday was incredible. Millions of people tuned into that. Millions of people are being exposed to Charlie Kirk and what he
billion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
$500 million.
But they're being exposed to this, and this is the first time they're seeing this side of a civil conversation with a conservative Christian and being like, whoa, these people actually aren't the demons that we've been told they are. People are coming around to that. My biggest concern, and I don't know how far you guys have gone down this whole thing just absolutely reeks, and I'm horrified that we're going to see it.
I feel like Brian was holding that in for the last 15 minutes.
He was in the corner. He didn't want to say anything because this is what he wanted to say.
I've been biting my tongue. Look, I'm a shooter. I'm a Marine. I'm a combat veteran. I'm a hunter. I've done all of this stuff. And I'll tell you right now, the one video that told me that this entire narrative being pushed out by the Utah police is bullshit is when I saw the video, 2 separate videos side by side of the same section. You know, the one where it pans and you see the guy running on the roof, the same roof that they gave us the footage of. He is up and down and halfway across the roof in less than 2 seconds after taking the shot.
Yep.
That is physically impossible.
All right, I got to read this comment quick. I've been holding off. I wanted to let you go, Brian. What a throwback to the days of grief with the band. Not all of the band, but we are now so winning. It is so great. It's such a great comment. I really like to bring it to light because look, guys, for 4 years, we were like the outcasts, and honestly, I was looking over my shoulder. I'm wondering when I was going to get a pre-dawn raid. Brian, I know you had the FBI knock at your door. I was at J6. Okay. I was there.
Wait, Neil, you were J6?
Yeah. You did what? You didn't know that, George? Come on.
No, we've never talked about you being a J6.
I
know Brian got.
We have, in fact, you were on the show when I had what's his name? The guy who got shot in the face with the rubber bullet, Joshua Black.
Yeah.
And Josh, my video.
We never talked about you being in the FBI.
My video was used in Joshua Black's court case.
Oh, shoot. You never said that, though.
Oh, we've talked about it. So the FBI utilized my video in Joshua Black's court case. The prosecutor wanted, because we raised money for Joshua Black's roof on my show, and the prosecutor wanted the money back. What was he going to do with it? People gave it so he could put a roof on his house because he was at the
stream I was on.
What's that?
The live stream I was on?
Yes. That's not where we raised the money. We raised it on a previous live stream, but anyways.
Oh.
I
don't remember a fundraiser.
We were like the outcasts, and we had a tyrannical government, and we were looking over our shoulders all the time, wondering when these freaks were going to come for us. And I guarantee you, if Trump didn't win that election, it would not have gone well. It would not have gone well.
Brian's gonna go eat Lou's food, so we got to go.
All right, yeah, we got to close this out. So we're gonna go.
Brian, we got to link up and talk more about this. I'm gonna follow you on X. I'm gonna DM you. We got to talk because there is. I just know we're on the same page when it comes to.
I've been down this.
These two guys up here. These 2 guys up here want to be politically correct all they want, but they know what we know.
Hit me up, Lou. I will for sure anytime you want, bro.
I want to do round robin here. Give you guys final shout out here. Lou, take it. Start with you.
You guys can find me on the LV Nation show on YouTube. LV Nation, that's the only channel I'm using right now, and Lou Valentino on X as well. So I'm just on those 2 platforms right now.
Okay, Brian.
You can find me at CanCon Actual on X. You can find me on Badlands Media on Rumble, as well as my own channel, CanCon on Rumble, and on Truth Social at CanCon.
George.
Don't find me unless you're selling me your house. I don't care.
George has decided.
Pundit under Brian Lupo.
What's that?
And Gateway Pundit under Brian Lupo.
Well, yeah, by the way, I was going to mention that earlier on in the show, Brian. When we were talking about the election and all the different ways people had gone, that was one of the things you did. You became a writer for the Gateway Pundit at that time because we all got split up. We were all doing these separate things. I still had a YouTube channel, but George built his big X account. One of the main things you did was writing for the Gateway Pundit in addition to Badlands Media. So you've got some great.
Is Jim Hoff still gay? I haven't spoken to him since.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. I've met his boyfriend is a very cool guy. Boyfriend, husband. I don't know if they're married. I've never asked that, but yeah.
Well, they can't be married. But anyway,
sorry, I said gay. I know you don't like that word.
This conversation has gone off.
By the way, Hizzy, when me and Jim were driving back from the Cyber Symposium, I think it was the 3rd one in Missouri. We were driving in the car. Him and my dad was with us, and he's like, "I love Behizzy and Nick and Neil." He's like, "I love those guys. Let's listen to them." And I was
wait, what kind of love? Agape love?
Behizzy, just because he's gay doesn't mean he wants to sleep with every dude.
I don't know, man. He said he loves you.
Hey, Lou, don't Don't take this as ammunition against me, brother.
I recorded it.
Look at this, Brian. Since you were just talking CanCon, I remember when your wife set the table for the 13 murdered in Afghanistan. Those 13 are with me always.
Amen. Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
I didn't know that, Brian.
Hey, how is Christy?
She's great. She's great. She's got her own show on Badlands. She's on with Ash and a couple other ladies, but they have a show on Badlands on Monday. They follow our Y-Chrome show, which is an absolute shit show of masculinity, toxic masculinity. And then they have the toxic female femininity.
Wait. So what do they talk about?
Cooking and cleaning.
Nah.
No, it's a good show. I watch it. No, it's Ash runs the show, and Christy's on there, and Ash kind of runs it. They all have their own little segments. They do good stuff, man. I watch it. I watch every episode.
I can't watch women speak.
You might learn something if you watch Ash.
Unless they're talking about things.
This guy is nuts, man. You can't watch women.
Look. Unless they're conservative.
Well, tune in every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Badlands Daily. I've got a live news show. It's about 2 hours long. Got a table of hosts, a rotating table of hosts that are on there with me, and it's a damn good show. So check it out.
Oh, by the way, when you and Ash did that Art of the Deal read along, I felt pretty cool because I knew everything you were going to read because I'd read the book.
Because it's Art of the Deal.
Yeah, I tune in every now and then. That was a good series.
Thanks.
George is at Behizzy Tweets on X, folks, and
I told you, Neil, if they don't want to sell me their house, they better not talk to me.
He thinks he's gonna be the next Donald Trump. He's becoming a real estate mogul, folks. That's George right there. Real estate mogul. And obviously you guys know how to find me, and I'm just at Neil E. Johnson on X, but I'm here on YouTube. And folks, I'll be infrequent again because I'm going back to the mountains. Okay, so I'm gonna be out chasing elk, actually with the bow and arrow. Brian, I do the old archery thing. I was chasing
black dads go get milk. Neil just goes to the woods.
That's right.
They never come back. Neil comes back.
He's out there.
Marcus never made it on. You guys can go find him. He's MD Exposure on X, and you can light up his account and tell him what the heck is your problem, because he was supposed to catch it on for the tail end here, but. Folks, I want to thank you for joining us. We had a surprise guest here in Lou as he joined the chat. But of course, George and Brian, and, all of us have faced censorship in some way, shape, or form. It's just the thing.
I've been demonetized a lot, so I've faced some time. I've never been banned, but
you couldn't eat for a day.
I didn't eat for 9 months. For 9 months, I had 2 apartments, and I literally just thugged it out.
I gotta say, as much as Lou is fat and I make fun of him, he's one of the coolest guys you've known. I mean, he retired his mom. Like he's different.
With a demonetized YouTube channel, and he's
one of the good Hispanics we want over here.
Yeah.
I love y'all.
You're one of the good Africans that doesn't eat people, man. You're good.
You're all right. You're all right.
This is. I love America.
He was one of the good whites that doesn't shoot up schools. He's good. He's good.
I just shoot up. All right, man.
Oh, man.
Go get your MyPillow at mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call the 800 number on your screen at 1-800-568-2865. Go support Mike Lindell. Great deals, free shipping, all of it there at mypillow.com. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace out, folks.